Welcome to a full review of the Audi A6 Allroad. Let's go! Here in the front, the A6 in general in this new generation, distinctive design lines here, pretty sharp design, and the all-road version has the special front grille here with the silver vertical fins inside and of course the silver contrasting bumper. A very nice look which is really unique in this model lineup and adds some off-road character, but without looking, let's say, dirty off-road alike. It's really like an elegant off-road styling. 4,93 m, 16 foot 2 or 194 inches is the length of the Audi A6 in general, no matter if sedan or estate here. The Allroad just comes as an estate. And wheels start with 18 inch in the EU, 20 inch would be standard in the US, and the ones we see here are also 20 inch. Still a good compromise between comfort and the looks. 21 inch would be the maximum, but that reduces the comfort a little bit. Air suspension is a standard with this model, and the all-road character is more that you also have the off-road mode, which then can maximum lift up the car 4.5 centimeters or 2 inches. Other than that, it's more really about the looks. There's not like a different technology behind it or so. And looks is indeed that we have the contrasting wheel arches, and they are available now in 3 different versions or stylings. This is here the painted one, like, you know, black or dark gray. In the rear we have the Allroad Quattro badge, and then lower part again the silver contrast. And I think it so well fits to that vehicle. By the way, if you do not go for a gray vehicle color, you have even more contrast. Imagine it in Thomas Blue, for example, and then the silver contrast to that. That is even more striking in the design. Then the tail lamps, really nice LED signature here with a claw-like design, and then in this case a black stripe that goes all over the vehicle in the very middle part. Tell me what you think about design. Is this your favorite Audi A6? And tell me in the comments. Under the hood, either petrol engine, especially for our friends in the US. This will be the 6-cylinder 3-liter petrol engine TFSI with 340 horsepower, or in Europe we can also go for the V6 TDI 3-liter engine. Here we go, so only 3-liter 6-cylinders available for the all-road version, and this one here available with 218 horsepower, 286, and in the, well, it would be like the S version in the EU, which is not called S here in the all-road version, then with 350 horsepower. The strongest ones, diesel and petrol, just accelerate a little bit over 5 seconds to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. Inside of the doors, leather surface on the top part, high quality microfiber insert here, really beautiful, and then galvanized buttons with either short or automatic all the way opening and closing function. And when we do that, you can also see here, let me put that up a little bit, here there we have this dual insulation glass with the optional acoustic package that makes it even more silent in this vehicle. All-road entry badge, then also gray accentuations around the floor mats, aluminum pedals, Sumo 2 screens and so on. Special all-road sport seats, that's how they call it, so they are sportier. with the accentuations at the shoulders, and then different grays or blacks are being mixed, interesting color mix. And here with the Alcantara and the insert, in the EU or in Germany especially, we have a base fabric seat, which we're also doing a good job, and you know, save some money. This then the optional high trim seat with the Alcantara, and special for the allroad here also with the allroad stamp. Unfortunately, so far for the US, only the animal skin seat. That is of course a miss, and you should tell that your Audi dealer, definitely. But here, the ones we can get here, beautiful, although some outside parts like here contain animal, which is not necessary. And this then here again is leatherette to my information. So they mix the materials, but you cannot really distinguish because the leatherette grades are also very high nowadays. Now let's take a seat on these sports Alcantara all-road seats. Sports and all-road, well, this is the scheme of this vehicle, to combine it somehow. And they're very comfortable indeed, so very good first impression, definitely. Now let's examine the interior together. Right here, you can see one more time the grey Alcantara, or has almost a bluish note if you look at that on camera now, right? So a very clean layout. Left side with the digital instruments, 12.3 inch. In the central part, you have the upper part 10.1 inch and the lower part 8.6 inch. I'll soon show you how they interact together. In most markets, this setup is standard, at least for the higher trim A6. Some markets with base Audi A6 versions still offer analog instruments on the left and then a smaller screen on the upper part, so you have to check the configurator how it is for your market when you buy an A6. Soon deals to the screens. The steering wheel here on the left side, you can see you control the digital instruments with thumb. On the right side, for example, the sound, the volume, and also activation of the voice input. See how the RPMs turn up in the left part, right side speed. But then you can also have the map on the inside or some other information, Apple CarPlay and so on. This is the consumption pretty high for this diesel because this includes our Autobahn test. You can also score as low as 5.5 or 6 liters on 100 kilometers. It's also possible. Soon more to that while driving. In the view change here, you can also put the map all over the screen. That's of course one of the big advantages of this virtual cockpit. And you can see here, 880 kilometers of range. This is also one diesel advantage here. And that's already driving it a little bit, you know. So 900 kilometers of range is possible actually with just one fueling. So the central infotainment unit here, it plays together. First of all, in the lower part, you have it here that you can scroll like this through the temperatures, or you can also do like plus minus click, both is possible. So for a digital solution, it's rather easy to control, but you also have to look down. Also here when you activate the seat heating, for example. However, what you could also do is set temperature to 22 degrees. Would be another possibility, for example.
I'll increase the temperature to 22 degrees.
So that works. And also GPS input, for example. Then in lower parts, we have the drive select, but I would rather activate it in the top part than when you switch it quite often. Like here, then you go to car and then to Audi drive select here, and then it stays, you know. When you click it in the lower part, it disappears again. And then, you know, playing around in the lower part, not that good. And there you can also activate the off-road mode. Then you can see also here with this visualization that the air suspension is raising actually. Then you also have the camera button in the lower part, which shows you this camera system here, front view or rear view. And then you also have this 3D view with a nice visualization. Hey, I want that wheels on that car. So here in the rear seating area, nice soft touch at the inside of the doors also for the rear, and then leg room. It's actually quite plentiful, so that's actually a good result because the seat is also cut out here on the back part. And then headroom with 1 with A6 or 6 with 1, also really plentiful, so the offering of space is really very good. Let's take a look at the trunk together. Here we open it like this, or with the foot kick opening mechanism that is also available. And there you can see it. It's very well accessible, square dimensions. Below here you have a small compartment. Then at the sides, some nets, you can store small stuff, and you can also install a net here with these 4 anchors to secure some baggage. And very cool is that you can flip the seats right here from the trunk and they indeed fall. That's not happening in the Audi A4, for example, but here, a very easy and good solution. In general, the driving feeling of the A6 is so calm here in this new generation, a very good noise insulation. It's a very sovereign feeling, as I always say. So, it has a long wheelbase, of course, very calm on the road, calm as for the noise insulation. The steering has a good feeling. It's rather light. It's a little bit more resistance than in the dynamic mode, but it has no dead zone area. So it's really a flawless driving experience. They mastered that very well here in this MLB platform. All their big SUVs and their bigger sedans or Tourings. Wait a minute, that's BMW Touring. They are Avants. That's Audi. They have, some similarities in the driving feeling. Definitely here, more have the normal car seating position. But since these Alcantara sport seats are very comfortable, I'm also really just fine by that, and I could just imagine like going hours and hours and hours now in this vehicle. It is really such a relaxing ride. So again, very well done. The engines have all been upgraded now for an MHEV system, so mild hybrid technology, so you can have some recuperation effects. It makes a little difference, not the biggest one in the world. The bigger difference is rather, our guys in the US, they all get the TFSI and here in Europe we can also go for the TDI. And I'm usually not the biggest diesel fan. For the sound is not that good. However, torque is of course very, very nice, but I like that the petrol engines, or then of course also the plug-in hybrid drives or the electric vehicles, they have this power like from the low RPM areas, and the diesel first needs a little bit of time, like half a second to get going, and then the turbo, then the torque sets in and so on, and are more like the other characteristic. However, this is one of the rare cars where I would actually say, if you have the choice, again not relevant for our US viewers, that 6-cylinder TFSI is still a nice engine, no doubt about that. We've been driving that one in the initial A6 sedan review, so if you want to check that out, it's also very interesting. So in this case, we're from specialty because the 6-cylinder petrol engine has the Quattro Ultra, so that's like the more fuel-saving Quattro on one hand, but it's rather this front plus rear concept. This is here the classic Quattro. So they have 5 or 6 different Quattro concepts, but the two main ones are front plus rear. Or then here the standard permanent all-wheel drive, 40% in the front, 6% in the rear, standard setup, and then a little bit switching on demand. And this is actually the better system driving-wise. The other one might be more efficient, but this one is more what you would expect from, this is the classic all-wheel drive, you know what I mean? And we also have a stronger wheel bias. So in this case, probably diesel is the choice to go. And also, if you look at the fuel economy, I can score some 6 liters on 1 kilometers, even a little bit lower if I really try to, like 5.5 liters on 1 kilometers, which is excellent for a vehicle of that size. That is a little bit more than 40 mpg US and even high, like 47, 48 mpg UK. Excellent. And even cooler, when you throw this one out on the motorway, you can still score some about 8 liters on 1 kilometers, which would be about 30 mpg US and like 35 mpg UK. So the span of the fuel consumption in diesel here between like minimum consumption and maximum is not so high. You can also drive this 6-cylinder petrol quite efficient, that's possible, but then when you throw that one out, the consumption will be boosted even higher. So these then were the two reasons why in this case here, the diesel is also a very interesting choice. They also added new filters here in the new engine generation. So it's actually quite clean what comes out then. But then again, the question is, like to treat the exhaust, everything like the fumes and so on, so in a so complicated way. Is that the future? Future probably not. But that's what we have at the moment. Now, too hard, not too easy to do the acceleration here. We can do an overtaking now, 50 to 80 kilometers an hour. Let's see, dynamic mode. Plop, that's it, and that was already 90 actually. Dynamic mode also switches it to the S shifting mode, and you realize that now, you know, so yes, the car also does some back shifting itself, but it needs a certain, you know, like half a second to get going a little bit. Yes, that's also due to shifting. So if you want to reduce this effect, you can also downshift yourself here with the shifting pedals. So now we'll start at about 40 kilometers an hour with a rolling start to be safe. And after this Kia Sorento, the older one, I'll start. Let's go. Plop, 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour. And again, very smooth acceleration from this all-wheel drive. I don't get like super kick in, but strong torque from the diesel. So you surely do not lack any power. That was a older Kia Sportage, by the way. I saw that. Thank you for everyone who noticed that earlier. But I hope you also checked out the acceleration. Now at 150 kilometers an hour, let's do a lane change. Really stable on the road. I also, you know, I'm a little bit lower now from the air suspension now on the brakes. Good braking feeling. Doesn't feel too heavy, the car overall. And again, noise insulation superb. We were driving so fast and it was not really loud in here. Great job. And now to our conclusion for today with the Audi A6 Allroad. Is it the dream estate? I think we can definitely say yes. It looks pretty unique from the exterior. It's not too playful, but really distinctive design lines. The interior, a great build quality, especially with these Allroad Alcantara seats that are very special and also good in the climate comfort. Cool enough in summer and also warm and cozy in winter times. Unfortunately, that you cannot get these seats in the US so far. I think you should ask your dealer when you are ordering this vehicle here in the US that you want to have these seats actually. I mean, at some point the customers also have the demand for sure. But in general, the build quality is really high, although in the higher trims and on certain markets, the availability of non-animal options are, you know, it's really scarce here with Audi still. Then also a lot of space on the interior. Overall, a very well usable estate, and driving wise so sovereign that air suspension is a great comfort feature and also combines comfort and sportiness in a very special way. Such a great ride also on the motorway, even at higher speeds. Very silent also. The only thing noise wise I could sometimes hear is when you're driving slow, because there are, you know, hardly any rolling noise and engine noises. Then you have the AC in a certain mode, then you can maybe hear that, like a strange noise from the front part there, but that's the only thing. I usually hear music, I don't hear it anyway, and overall the car is very, very silent. And the diesel here also with good fuel economy, so together with the argument that this has the normal, permanent all-wheel drive, this could indeed be an argument when you have the possibility here in the EU that this here is the better choice than, in this case, to take the diesel. Well, overall a very impressive car. Yeah, it's just the price, as I said earlier, at least 60k, but with all the options here we have, a dream estate for sure for 100,000 euros or dollars. That's the catch for today. What do you think about the A6 Allroad? Tell me in the comments, join us there, and also tune in to reviews more versions of the A6 and also BMW 5 Series or Mercedes E-Class. Got a lot of those. Enjoy it. See you next time.